Well, hey folks, welcome to Shaky Hands Workshop. My name is Brian. Today we're going to be starting part 2 of my sewer terrain for my veteran city of Bordertown. Now this part will be a transition where the city had decided to dump some resources into sanitation as the town began to become an actual city. And sanitation became a thing. So they decided to use cut stone or fitted stone. They decided to use fitted stone along the walls, created some piers for stability's sake, because a lot of the walkways and stuff began to began to fall in and corrode because of stuff in the water, and went to a series of stone piers that the walkways came across. So in order to show you that, let me turn the camera down and we'll get to work. All right, see you in a minute. Bye. All right, so what I've got here is the original cave on part 1 was done with a 2-inch wide set of blue foam. Tried to test fit on that earlier, and that using an 1-inch wide on this pink stuff, but it doesn't. It took up too much room, and to me it just made it look too tight. So I've cut this down to about a 1/2 inch, and that also saved me some more material. So I can just use one piece. Cut in half, and there you go. Now I can do more tiles with it. I mentioned earlier about the fitted stone as opposed to the cut stone. So for me, the fitted stone looks like this. Looks like the cobblestone, like this, and the fitted stone looks like this. The cut stone looks more like brickwork, more like what we'd see. So that's my distinction as far as what a fitted stone and a cut stone, what that looks like, at least to me in my head. And the easiest way for me to do this, I start with a ballpoint pen, and this is horribly tedious. It's also kind of therapeutic in another way, because it kind of just lets you zone out. But just keep going around and making either circles or kind of oblong, odd shapes and stuff, kind of give it a little character. Again, there's no wrong way in my mind to do any of this. So yeah, like this piece right here, it's got a weird shape to it, right? Okay, cool. A lot of the rocks and stuff that they would use to line wells and cobble streets and stuff weren't perfect. They were of various shapes and sizes. And once I've got a few of those down, then I come in with a Sharpie, and the Sharpie itself has got a bit of alcohol or something in it that actually melts this stuff away. And if you lose bits of the pink stuff in here, that's fine. It just makes it look like it's more worn and that type of thing, and gives it some character. And yeah, I'm just going to continue on with this, and I will see you back at the end of this. Well, and there we go. After probably 15 minutes of hand cramping, tedious work, we got fitted stone. I actually like this look quite a bit. I don't know. For me, it's a nice aesthetic that I enjoy, and all the tedious work of drawing this in and stuff, to me, is worth it at the end. If it's not your thing, then I would look at doing some type of textured roller if you want to do that, or doing some type of sheet of plastic that's got the cobblestone textures on it. But I don't know. I enjoy this. To me, I enjoy the craftsmanship of it, and I like the look of it at the end. And at the end, that's all that really matters. So now I've got this done. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing all covered in Mod Podge. It's got a little bit of black paint in it, and get things put on my 6x6. I've got a couple of piers for my planks, and it'll end up looking something like that before the resin pour. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna need to do the back of this one, and we'll go ahead and get that taken care of, and I'll be back in here in a little bit. So I went ahead and put in a midline, basically a line that runs in the middle of the base, and from there I'm going to put in my 2 piers about as center as I can get them, and that keeps helps me keep everything in line. And now it's just a matter of hot gluing this stuff down and then onto Mod Podging. Alright, so while I'm waiting for the Mod Podge to dry, I'm going to go ahead and start working on my walkway. Now walkway is going to be right at, I don't know why I put that over there. Walkway is going to be 6 inches from one end to the other, which ironic because that's how big I made the base. Anyway, and it's running about 1 inch wide. So what I've got here is some 3/16 of an inch wide, or actually square stick. It's about 19.5 inches long, so I'll be able to get my entire frame out of this, and I'm just going to make a rectangular frame out of this. And then for the planking, I'm going to use craft sticks. The main reason I'm going for the craft sticks is just for the let's see if that focuses better. The main reason I'm using the craft sticks is they've always looked to be of proper size, and they'll be consistent throughout the build. In this stage of the build, if I wanted something a little more cattywampus or variance in the build, then I would go with like this, some coffee stirs, maybe some rough cut type of balsa sheeting to give it again a more slap together type of construction. But with this being the transitionary part, they've my thinking is they went ahead and put out the money and had proper catwalks built. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. So I'm going to make 2 pieces at 6 inches long, and then 6/16. So yeah, I'll do my gorilla knuckle math here, trying to figure out how big of a piece I need for the end of the rectangle. And each one of these will be about 1 inch long, and let's kind of go from there. And because I have a tendency to cut things at an angle for whatever reason, I went ahead and got myself a little miter box so I can get a proper 90-degree cut. And since I'm using a square, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. One of the things I like about this particular square is it's got metrics on one side, so if I decide I want to use that, then I just flip it over. I've got my metrics here, or if I'm running in inches or working in inches or imperial, then I'll just do that. And since it's balsa that I'm messing with, it should cut through a lot faster. I have used super glue to make these walkways before, and they just don't bond they don't bond very well. So I'm gonna have to, and the for doing balsa wood and stuff, the hot glue does okay. The white glue does better. Well, now I got everything primed. I'm going to go through and do a little bit of painting. I'm just kind of keep this stuff simple. I'm trying to overcomplicate it. I like doing pewter gray as the main stone color in regards to all the stone. Tan and then suede. These are all, cheap cheap paints that I get at like Michael's or Walmart or something like that. I'm going to use a black wash for the planks. I'm probably going to use, actually I'm going to use this espresso as a base. I'm going to build up some weathering by adding in some gray to it, and so I get more and more gray to show age as it goes along. And I'll probably come back and hit the whole thing, all of it with the black wash, and then hit it with a little bit of a light, really light gray or sandstone color dry brush over everything, kind of bring everything back up a little bit. So I think I'll start with this first, make it easy. And while one side's drying, I'll go ahead and start working on the rest of this stuff. The black wash is homemade. I got this recipe from Black Magic Craft, Jeremy at Black Magic Craft. I throw a glass bead in the bottom of this thing. It helps with agitation, make sure it's mixed up pretty well. I do the same thing with the Mod Podge mixture. It's got a glass bead or two in the bottom of this. Again, just when I go to shake it, I get that agitation and make sure everything is thoroughly mixed. Does it really matter? Yeah, I think so. But yeah, nothing. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and start working on this, and then where'd it go? There it is. And this isn't any type of real fancy paint job. This is, quick and dirty. And does it look good from 3 feet away? Yes, that's all that matters. And I was going to use a black primer, but I didn't have any, so I opted for the gray instead. I very rarely use white because I hate using a white primer. I find I fight more with trying to get all the, oh, you missed this spot, and how can you tell? Well, look at that white right there. All right, let that dry. Finish off the rest of this walkway. Got some pooling going on up here. I've got everything all painted up and washed. Didn't turn out too bad. I added add a little bit of black into a darker brown to kind of break up the stonework, make it a little more interesting, I think. Now I'm going to go through, and my catwalk. I'm going to go through and take this is what a soft gray, probably, I already got some. Add a little bit of a lighter color, or like a off-white or something to it, kind of lighten up just a touch. Oh, sandstone, that works. Touch of that. Sorry, I'm trying to remember where the camera is and what you guys can see and what you can't. I have a bad habit of working next to my body. There we go. So let's take this stuff, working with some of this gray. lighten it up quite a bit. I'm going for a really just a light touch on the on everything. And that's still wet, so put that there. Just kind of going through, pick up what I can. Yeah, because it's sewer, but all right. For something like this, I think the main areas I'm really worried are going to look at is the top of the wall right here, because if we were looking at OSL, object source lighting, you'd have, you know, come in from here and, you know, all that. It's a sewer, so as long as I kind of come in from the top, I think it'd be all right. But I don't know if the OSL police are going to come in and invade my space, so. But stranger things have happened. Okay. And I'm going to hit the outside of this because that's more visible than my interior will be. Now, thinking about where my catwalk's going to go, I'm not, again, I consider everything between these two piers to be in shadow. So everything from here to here is going to be in shadow. So I'm not worried about hitting any type of OSL. Honestly, if it's just terrain for around your house, and if it's not a big deal for you, OSL is not even a thing, to be quite honest with you. Even when I'm painting miniatures, it's kind of, if I'm in the mood to do it, then I'll put it on there. Otherwise than that, I ignore it. Because if I'm batch painting, you know, 30, 40 guys, or whatever it is, I'm not going to mess with all that. But, you know, to each his own. Now I've got that down. Excuse me. Now I've got that down. I'm going to come in with this slimy dark green, or slimy grime dark from Vallejo. I use this on the cave system already, and I'm just going to continue that. I like the look of it. It's not going to be a static even line across. Try to make it a hodgepodge, or, you know, make it as intermittent as possible. I like some of these weathering effects that Vallejo has. But I am a fanboy of their product, but, you know. But all things being equal, I do like what they produce. So some of the things I don't like. Some of their metals, or the yellow, oh my God, don't get me started. So just like this, just kind of coming in and just hitting right in here, right along the base of the stone. Try and make it uneven. Same thing around the piers. And just using a flat brush to do all this. I could use a rounded brush, but I like the flat brush for this. It just seems to, gives me a lot more, I'm covering a lot more area, and I can, I don't know, just move it around a little better. Whereas a rounded brush, you don't seem to, it's better for me, it's always better for detail and stuff like that. All right. Now this slime color gets into this area here, in the brown where the resin's going to go. That's fine. Just makes it more realistic. Actually, I think I'll just go ahead and add that nice little scum layer right in there, just like that. All right, folks, there we go. Just going to let that dry. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get my plastic ready and dam this up and get ready for some ready for a resin pour. Well, it's been overnight. Let's see how we did. Dude, it's like Christmas. I think there was a little bit of leakage, but wouldn't be crafting without some type of little screw up every now and again. Oh, there we go. I think to do this over again, which I'm going to be doing over again, I would not do just the tape all the way around. I think I'd do the hot glue with that. I don't know. Yeah, probably the hot glue. So there we go. One sewer transition stage, as I like to call it. So it's next stage will be where it's all stonework, and we'll kind of go from there. One other thing, don't use a heat gun. I made the mistake of hitting this with a heat gun to try and knock some of the bubbles down, and damn near melted my my plastic that I had dammed up here on the side. A hair dryer would probably work, even on a low setting. And yeah, I got a little thin. It's a little thin over here on the side, but it'll do. If I was doing like a piece of commission work or something like that, which I've never done, but actually kind of open to doing that, then yeah, I'm just going to touch up some of these areas with some black and do the whole thing. So, well, and here we go. Part 2 of my sewer terrain. Again, this for my adventuring city of Bordertown. This would be in about the middle. If I can figure it out, I will actually show what type of really artistic map I've got of the town as kind of an overview. But this would be the transition period, and hopefully you guys found something useful out of this. Next will be the third and final stage, which will be more cut stone, and I'll go into more of that on the next video. I hope you found this useful. If you did, please hit the like, share, subscribe button, and you all stay safe. I will see you on the next video. Bye now.